that twister was more intense than you thought. So anyways, the day we got there, we were at Hollywood Studios, and we went on the backlot tour. And we were at the end of the line. So, of course, the lady comes out and says, who wants to be one of my volunteers? So I shot my thumbs up in the air, and she
This guy
right here. And we went back, and it was funny because there was 3 other guys there, and the other guy and I looked like we went to the same barber, both completely fresh shaven as far as our heads go. So we did the backlot tour, and Annalise and Jimmy taped it. I've gone through all the pictures so far, but I haven't gone through any of the videotapes yet.
Once that's edited, we'll definitely put it up on the site.
Okay. So I did the opposite of everything they asked to do. And they said, they're saying, but you're going to be dive bombed, so point up in the air at the planes coming at you. So I was pointing in the opposite direction. And when the shooting started, I was hiding behind those thin rails that are around the lifeboat, trying not to get shot.
Of course,
things like that. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't see it, of course, because, I'm filming a shoot here. But there was Jimmy's hatred of psycho scooters was completely refreshed within an hour of being at the parks, because there was some lady in a scooter that literally was constantly bashing both him and Annalise. And Annalise, she kept doing it, and I think she wasn't doing it on purpose, but she was incredibly ignorant, so that's still no excuse.
Once is forgivable, twice is punishable by death.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Annalise was ready to kill her. I think if Annalise was alone, she probably would have taken her out. But she tries to set a good example for Jimmy. So, and then Jimmy was almost going to take her out because he's thinking, what would Brett do?
Of course. You are a positive role model.
Yes, I know. I try. So, anyways, jumping forward again, on Friday we went to the Kennedy Space Center, which was pretty good. Not a heck of a lot to explain there. It was a giant space museum, space shuttles and rockets and everything you can imagine. The coolest thing about it was because it was built on so much land, it was very spread out. It wasn't like it wasn't something that was going to take you hours to walk around to get from one attraction to another, but it was enough so that things weren't on top of each other.
Right.
We took one of their tours and got as close as the public can get to the space shuttle, which was...
What do they care anymore? They're not launching it into the space anymore.
Well, this one here, it was 4 days before the launch.
Okay.
That was Monday. I actually zoomed in with my video camera and got the nose cone of it. So whether they like it or not, I got to see the space shuttle. We got back. We went to Extra Magic Hours at Epcot. Saturday we went to the studios again because it was a 0.9 on touring plans, and actually there was a decent crowd, but the attractions weren't mobbed. We went the first place we went to when we got there was, of course, the Star Tours ride, because I knew they were going to be having soft openings. So of course I go right up to a cast member, and we've got this all on videotape too. I'm sure you're going to want to post this on the site. I went right up to a cast member and I said, what time does Star Tours open? And she goes, oh, no, it's not open till the 20th. It's not open till next weekend. I said, okay. So I pulled up my clock and checked the time. And I looked at her and I said,
what did you pull out?
My
Get your mind out of the gutter.
I pulled out my phone and checked the time. And it was 10:30. So I turned back and I said, okay, so if I come back at 12, is it going to be open? She goes, no, sir, I'm sorry. It's not going to be open until next Saturday, the 20th. I said, okay, great. So I looked at my phone again. And I said, all right, so if I come back at 3, is it going to be open? And she starts to get annoyed.
I can't imagine why.
I don't either. So I'm looking around, and it's funny because there were 3 management type that were off to the side, so I knew I could get away with anything. And so as I did that about 2 or 3 more times.
You'll be escorted out of the park.
Yeah. And then finally
Were you wearing your fanboy shirt at this time?
I wasn't.
Okay.
Wait a minute,
Too bad.
Actually, no, wait a minute. I was wearing the fanboy shirt because
Great on the radar now.
Right before I pulled that, because I was wearing the old fanboy shirt, I was...
We refer to it as classic?
Yes, the classic, thank you. The classic fanboy shirt. I was spotted by podcast fan Andrew, and either his wife, girlfriend, or mistress, but there was a lady with him. And she was very nice as well.
It was Maria Shriver.
Oh, okay, he said wife. Annalise told me he said wife. I don't pay attention to these things. So anyways, talked to him for a few minutes, and he said he was a big fan. He saw the shirt, and that's how he knew it was me, and that and the bald head. So
Right.
I talked to him for a few minutes.
And the fact that you were harassing a cast member.
I wasn't there yet.
Oh, okay.
This is before, but I had already planned this for weeks. So anyways, that's when I went over and harassed the cast member. And now that I look back, I should have harassed even more, because every time she told me it wasn't going to be open until the 20th, she lied.
Right.
All right?
Well, this was last Saturday. It opened the next day for soft openings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And actually,
I was texting
open...
Brett all day saying, "Get over to the studios. Get over to the studios."
Oh, I know. But considering the studios was, at like a 5.
And you'd been there twice in 3
I've been there
days.
twice already. But my biggest thing is if Matt Hochberg or Jim Hill had texted me and said, "Hey, we're at Star Tours. We're getting in line now," believe me, I probably would have gotten there faster than a boat or a bus, because I know I would have gotten on. So anyways, because there was no guarantee, I didn't want to waste my time and be let down, because then it would have been a bad way to end the trip.
Right.
So anyways, but jumping back to Saturday, I come to find out it actually, at the time I was harassing the cast member, it was open for cast members.
Right.
The cast members were riding it, because that night we went to the Magic Kingdom at about, I think we got there about 8:30, and when I was pulling my my usual fast pass scam.
Yeah, for me, appreciate it.
Yep. I was pulling my fast pass scam, and at Buzz Lightyear, I was talking with the guy, and he was telling me how all the cast members were there in the morning riding it, and he said he rode it like 20 times, and he said it was just phenomenal, which I knew it was going to be. I knew it is. So then the next day, I wasn't too surprised when you were texting me telling me that it was open. But again, it's a soft opening because they're working out the bugs. With my luck,
as soon as you get over there, it was going to close.
Yeah. Bugs the size of pterodactyls would have been attacking the ride and shut it down for the next month.
It would have made for a good story, though.
Yeah. So, anyways, after the we stayed at the Magic Kingdom till probably about midnight, 12:30. It was pretty quiet. What is it?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. So it was pretty quiet, which was nice. That's how we like it. The next day we went to Epcot. That was like a 0.7. But again, I know that Touring Plans says their numbers reflect the attraction weights and not the crowds, because it was still pretty crowded. They had a Cars 2 type meet and greet where they had some guest speakers, but we weren't interested in those. But they had probably about half dozen or so meet and greets.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pixar stuff going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of Pixar stuff. And right across from, what's the British place again?
Rose and Crown Pub.
Thank you. Right across from the Rose and Crown, there's the 2 large double doors that the cast members can drive the semis out of.
Yep.
Back there was completely open. And as you're walking down a red carpet, they had a bunch of billboards up. And each billboard would give a bunch of, I took pictures of all those too, but they'd give a bunch of secrets here and there, like how many times and where the Pizza Planet delivery truck was and in what movies. Things like that.
Yeah, so like all the Easter eggs in the movies.
Right. And as you got to the building, you walk into the building and they're handing out these posters, which I took a bunch of them, but I forgot to look at what it is on it. Oh, it's Cars Land. Okay. So we got those, and the lines were huge. So what we did was I walked around to each of the meet and greets opposite the front of the line, opposite of the character in the front of the line. So as soon as the person there left, I got a clear shot of the character. And I took one. There was.
Is English your first language, Brent?
No. Actually, my fourth.
Okay.
Why? What am I messing up?
As soon as each character left.
Did I say left?
Yes.
Left. Oh, no.
Should we explain verb conjugation to you?
I'll have to listen to it and tell you what I meant later. So
I gotta have my finger on the wrong button.
Yeah.
Try again.
I meant to say as soon as each guest was leaving,
there you go.
I would get a clear shot of the character, and I said as soon as the character left, what the hell am I taking a picture of a character for as he's leaving? So I got the dog from Up. I got Mr. Incredible. Who else did we get?
The car, the tow truck.
Oh yeah, you get Mater from Cars,
Monster.
the monster from Monsters Inc. that has the sock on his back.
Is that a thing?
Yes, remember one of the extra monsters, and come to find out he has a sock on his back and gets jumped by all the.
This is thrilling podcast, by the way.
Isn't it? Well, that's the thing is I'm trying to picture it and I'm forgetting what the hell all these things are called. The monster that had the sock on his back and you don't see it, and then he turns around and
Does
all
that mean the two other
hazmat-
monsters inside of him are having sex?
No,
Okay.
the hazmat team jumps on him because he's got.
Oh yeah, he's been contaminated.
There we go. Thank you. So yeah, we did Epcot for a while. Found out that the Beatles tribute band is no longer there.
Yeah.
They didn't post the name, but there's a new band that's.
I saw the name. It's supposed to be like all British music, right?
It's a British rock tribute
Yeah.
band, and they do Queen. They do the cast member told me that there's no ballads. Everything they sing is upbeat. You know, Queen, David Bowie, and so on. So
because David Bowie's upbeat all the time. This is Major Time to Ground Control.
now, Paul, in
Yeah.
David Bowie's defense, he was really upbeat when he did his duet with Mick Jagger. So you just have to pair him with somebody he slept with.
All right, fair.
You gotta go
My
your
favorite
audience.
song is a Nirvana cover of a David Bowie song.
Is it what?
Is Nirvana covering a David Bowie song?
Oh man.
It's the
If you're
man
not-
who sold the world on Unplugged in New York.
I was gonna say you're already pretty much depressed if you're listening to Nirvana. That's definitely gonna push you over the edge.
It's the name of the band is the English Channel. Did you see what they did there? It's a play on words because
Yeah.
that like the English Channel,
Uh-huh.
and then they decided to make it a band.
Oh man.
You're welcome for that explanation,
Yes, thank you.
Brett. On your trip, how many times did Jimmy get on test track?
I want to say I think about 4 times,
Okay.
and
I expected it to be higher. I know that's his favorite, right?
well, actually, now that leads me to some of the tidbits of my trip report. I already
Okay.
said that at 12 years old, Jimmy's as tall as Lou Mangello. The tickets were.
I'm sure Lou likes the fact that you mentioned that twice this show.
He doesn't listen. If he listens to the show, I will give him my most sincere apology I have ever given anyone in my life. Considering that I doubt he does, that's probably at the bottom of my list.
So stabbing people behind the back is okay, according to what you're saying, then, as long as they don't find out.
I've got plenty of people to stab in the back, literally. That's higher on my list than probably having to apologize to Lou Mangello because he's not going to hear me.
I'm going to
So-
tweet him right now.
Yeah. So, anyways, Jimmy and Annalise, back up. As I had mentioned the last time I went,
At Lou Mangello.
what'd you
At
say?
WDW Fanboy Brett is claiming that his son is taller than you. It may or may not make it to this week's show.
Just so you know, Tim, when we go to Mangello's, if he spits in our food, I'm going to walk to Massachusetts to get my hands around your throat.
I wrote it up. I'm just waiting for you to piss me off, and I'll hit the send button.
No, I think Lou's got a thick enough skin to understand he's short. So, anyways, I don't know if anybody remembers, but previously, the last time I went to Disney, I found out that our passes were demagnetized. Probably because I keep them in the same pocket as my credit cards, which
And the
I come to-
magnets. I still
Yes.
don't know why to carry those magnets around.
I know. Well, when you carry them that low, they tend to. Never mind. So,
I know why they got demagnetized, because Magneto and Dumbledore are the same person. So when you enter the Wizarding World of
Yeah.
Harry Potter, you had them in your pocket, and he was the one that demagnetized them.
nothing to do with my magnetic personality.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, absolutely not. Thank you.
Do we have any more magnetic jokes?
No. So, anyways,
I would make a couple at the expense of your personality, but all right, I'm done.
all right, thank you. So, anyways, the
Glad you could join us this week, Paul.
passes were demagnetized. I actually, the last time when I was there alone in March,